Hey, what's up, MLB fans around the world? This is the one and only Mark Spencer. I'm back again for the MLB Review, Part 28. Folks, it's the month of May once again. April's done, May is here, and the baseball races for the division titles has just gotten going. We got more than 4 or 5 months left to go in the regular season in Major League Baseball, folks. The NBA playoffs has been awesome. The NHL playoffs has just been some of the best hockey I've seen in about 10, 12 years. And now, baseball is getting interesting. The Boston Red Sox right now are not playing good, but they're starting to get better. There's one guy that has been struggling most of the year. Has been their pitching, John Lackey, of course. John Lester a little bit. Josh Beckett, okay. But David Ortiz is the heart and soul of the Boston Red Sox. You can ask any Bostonian, any Red Sox Nation fan, that the one guy on the entire team that gets everyone playing better, it is David Ortiz. He brings life, he brings the fun, always has a smile, and let me tell you, and that's what it is. It brings a little bit of hope to your team. So, right now, on May the 18th, 2010, the Boston Red Sox are the 4th place team in the American League East, right behind the Toronto Blue Jays, the New York Yankees, and the Tampa Bay Rays. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays have the best record in baseball at 27-11. Their winning percentage is around 7-11. Pretty amazing. The Yankees are 25-13. The Blue Jays are 23-17. Surprising. Red Sox are 20-20, 19-20. So they're one game under 500. Orioles, okay, no surprise here, 12-27. Terrible year for the Baltimore Orioles. Thought they'd be a little bit better, but even bringing back Miguel Tejada hasn't really meant much. Hasn't really meant too much. Now we go to the American League Central. We look at the Minnesota Twins. The record around 24-14. I kind of like their new ballpark, Target Field, for the Twins. It's a little bit different than the old Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. This downtown stadium down in Minnesota is going to really help this team long term. They found money to sign their catcher, their long-term superstar catcher, Joe Mauer, to a big, fat $180-something million deal over 8 years. Pretty good deal for the Twins. Get your franchise player, play for the team he grew up cheering for as a kid, born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kind of reminds you of the Mighty Ducks. Gordon Bombay. Okay, and now we get down to the nitty-gritty. The Detroit Tigers are second in the division, 22 wins, 16 losses. When I look at the Detroit Tigers, recently they just demoted, what's his name? Demoted a few players to the minors, Scott Sizemore and Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer. I'm surprised by that, but Max wasn't really delivering, and his demotion doesn't really come as much surprise. You have to play good at the major league level. You have to get the strikeouts. You can't give up too many home runs. You can't give up too many walks. The key is you have to. Let me tell you, you have to be mentally strong to play on the MLB level. In the minor leagues, you can make those mistakes, but when it comes to the major leagues, you can't make those type of mistakes. So it's looking to me that that trade that they made in the offseason for Curtis Granderson, now he's hurt. Edwin Jackson's been terrible. I heard his ERA is pretty up in the high sixes, so around 6.6 ERA is pretty terrible. He's been really bad. Ian Kenny's probably looking like the best in that trade. He was just a throw-in player, so we'll see. It's going to take some time. Austin Jackson, he hasn't really done too well for the Detroit Tigers. He's put up some good numbers. He got a few home runs, lots of ribbies, but his batting average is pretty bad. It's in the 180s, so he needs a lot of improvement. We'll just have to see. Carlos Guillen's getting a second chance here with the Detroit Tigers to get his game back and play second base again, play in the infield. instead of being a designated hitter and playing in the outfield. Now he gets a chance to really show what he can do. And that's what's important. People of Detroit, I know it's been really tough down in the Motor City. It hasn't been really motor in the last few years. I'm really sorry to hear. But I can give you some good news. I really feel the Detroit Tigers, you better watch out for this team this year. They want to win it all. And when I see a T-City get behind their team, it just tells me anything's possible. Anything's possible. You look at the Red Wings, you look at the Detroit Pistons, they play for their city, they play for their community, and I'm telling you right now that the Detroit Tigers are going to play for their city. They know they're in tough times, but they must stick with their team. Have pride and believe tomorrow will be a better day. Just remember that, folks. Don't ever give up. Just believe, have fun, enjoy your life, and anything's possible. I believe in miracles, and watch out for the Detroit Tigers. They might have a miracle this year. It's like Sparky Anderson had it back in 1984. So now we move on into this division. Take a look at the Cleveland Indians. With a record of 15-21, I still think the Cleveland Indians will win this division, but I've been wrong before. But they got a record of 15-21. That's terrible. Chicago gets a record of 15-22. A lot was expected out of Chicago. Jake Peavy's become a bust. He hasn't really lived up to expectations. Mark Burley, he's not doing as good as he did last year. He had the no-hitter. We all know that. He pitched amazing last year. Alex Rios has done pretty amazing this year. He's hitting amazing. Got quite a bit of home runs, about 6 or 7. Paul Canero leads baseball with 13-plus home runs, but he's really cooling off of late. So only hope he can get his back going again because he leads Major League Baseball in home runs and RBIs. So,